There I am. Excuse me. Pardon me. I had something in my throat there. I'm taking my time this morning because I know that I'm about to box the ears, pimp slap, grade school playground dominate a bunch of you guys. And while I do enjoy it in a way, I also feel like, it's a dubious privilege to be able to get up here and just call out this. You can see the banner right there, and you know that I'm calling out one of the biggest, most destructive, most insidious fallacies that exists. So let me start with this. How can you possibly, even for a second, claim that you want to make impact, claim that you want to make a dent in the universe, claim that you want to reach 1 million people, claim that you want to serve at a high level and be anything but 100% completely locked, tongue and groove, gears together, meshing in sync with making a lot of money? If you think for a second that you're ever going to make a big impact in a positive way without making a lot of money, you are delusional. It's just that simple. There's just no way it's going to happen. The sooner you can divest yourself of that absurd fantasy, the sooner you actually put yourself on a path that can lead to real income, real impact, real legacy, the things that you profess to want. But you have to get over this idea that money isn't important. Now, don't bring in the beyond a certain amount, money isn't important. Don't bring that in. Don't even bring it in unless you're there. Now, if you've gotten to the point where you can do anything you want because you have, thanks, Steve, because you've made enough money and you've got enough money coming in, then I believe that there does come a point when it's no longer about making more money, but I also don't know anyone who's at that stage who doesn't pay attention to and respect money for what it is. I have yet to meet anyone who has achieved anything meaningful in terms of, the altruistic sort of goals that we all have, who doesn't respect money for what it is. You must include this as part of your narrative. Now, the problem with this is that it's scary. It's going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to fly in the face of a lot of stuff you were trained to believe. And see, because of those things, you call them money stories, call it money conditioning, call it your beliefs around money. It's all of those. It becomes easier to adopt the agreed upon, generally accepted story that money isn't important or that money is somehow anything less than what it actually is. But what you need to understand is that as soon as you ascribe to those stories and those beliefs, as soon as you join that club, you are subtly limiting your potential. You are subtly limiting what you're capable of. See, stories are a funny thing. We talk about story being so important and story being everything in marketing and sales and story being everything in branding, and they are. Here's what we don't understand about stories, by and large. Every group of people, every niche, every clique, every whatever it is, are defined by the stories that they agree to. Make sense? Let's look at the Republicans. Let's look at the Democrats. Let's look at the socialists. Let's look at the pick pick anything, right? And you're going to find that the underlying commonality between any group of people, any subgroup of people, is the stories they subscribe to and agree to. Now, the negative money narratives are one of the biggest in our culture. So easy to find a peer group if you get on that high horse, that moral high horse about money not being important, not being valuable, not being the thing you're after, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. It's all about the money. It is all about the money. To say anything less, to say anything different, is to fundamentally say, I'm limiting myself in what I can achieve. Because you just don't achieve anything big or meaningful without money being part of it. It just doesn't happen. Now, do you have to be Gordon Gekko from Wall Street? No. Do you have to be, I don't know, Donald Trump? No. Do you have to be the Rockefellers? No. You and I both know, or at least know of, many very, very wealthy people, let's say in the rise of social media and the online space, very wealthy people who are doing wonderful things with their lives and who have made a ton of money. Now, we don't know. Here's what you don't know. You don't know anyone who's playing at a high level with their service, a high level with their impact, who's building real legacy, but not generating money. You can't show me one person who's, let's say, serving the world at large at the level of, let's say, Tim Ferriss, serving the world at large at the level of, let's just go for the top, Elon Musk, right? Let's bring it back down. Who else is serving the world at large very powerfully? Well, if you're into that stuff, Grant Cardone is educating tens of thousands of people about real estate and about self-education and about, financial freedom and literacy. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no one who ever reaches any real sort of unusual pinnacle of achievement without money being part of it. So the thing that we've been trained to believe is that on the path to making a lot of money, we're going to have to sell our soul. Nothing could be further from the truth. I openly and unapologetically, well, I'll tell you right now, for me, my goal, it's all about the money. Now, does that mean that I'll start selling cocaine or something, or running prostitutes, or becoming a prostitute? No, of course not. Because I already know that's fundamentally not something I'll do. I'm not the kind of person who's so Machiavellian that I would go against my own values. So, assuming you're not that kind of person either, you needn't worry about openly proclaiming that you're ready to make a shitload of money. Because if you've already sort of formed yourself, your values, your ethics, your moral compass, hi, Jackie, then there's nothing to worry about. Let's use my dear friend and student and client, Jackie, who just jumped on. She's here to serve through education. But make no mistake about it, she has huge vision. Her goals are enormous, and she understands 100% that money is an integral part of that. Now, she could, just like I am, she could say that she could declare right now today, it is all about the money. And all that would mean was that she was attaching at every step of the way a dollar value to the business she's building and the service she's providing and the legacy she's creating. Do you guys get that? Do you see how that little shift frees you up to become okay with creating financial resources, wealth for yourself? The biggest trick the devil ever played was making people believe he didn't exist. Anybody know that quote? The biggest trick the devil ever pulled over was making people believe he didn't exist. Well, the biggest trick that society ever pulled on you was making you think that somehow money isn't important. It is absurd. Let me give you some examples. Last year, I had a hernia surgery, and I had excellent health care. Okay. I had the best health care available. Think of it. I was brought into a hospital that looked like a 5-star hotel. I kid you not. Here in California, UC Davis Medical Center. If for any reason you somehow don't believe me, look it up. Look up the UC Davis Medical Center online and you will see a state-of-the-art facility where I was cared for by a state-of-the-art team. They used, what do they call it when they put you under? Anyway, they put me under, right? In the old days, if you get a hernia fixed, they would numb the area. They would put a curtain between the part of you that was your head and the part where they were fixing the hernia, and they'd fix it while you were awake. Oh my God. Right? And it's probably still how it is if you have bad insurance. You see what I'm saying? Or if you have no insurance. It was anesthesia, right? They brought in an award-winning anesthesiologist. They had, it was amazing. The whole experience was amazing. I put this experience off for 18 years out of fear. 18 years. So what's the key piece here? The key piece is I now have money. Right? Recently, I had committed to getting my dental work done, and I have a lifelong fear of the dentist, which was from bad dental experience after bad dental experience after bad dental experience. It led me to over 20 years of never going to the dentist. But guess what? I have excellent state-of-the-art healthcare. I have the best healthcare available on the market. Why? Because I have money. Is there anything evil or bad about that at all? Of course not. Of course not. Do you see where I'm going with this? Because let's see who's on this call right now. Steve Zellers, Annie Nelson Earl, Jackie Gold, Joey Morgan. I know that all of you guys have ambitions to serve at a high level. I know you do because you're in my feed. You're in my world. I see what you say. I see how you show up. I know that most of the people watching this video have ambitions to serve at a high level. I also know that a percentage of people that is way too high for my liking will get on the soapbox at any opportunity on social media and rail against making a lot of money. That is insanity. You've been duped. You have been duped. What I suggest is you give yourself an emotional, spiritual fucking root canal, to borrow from the dental, and get rid of those beliefs. Pull them out, branch and twig. I mean, they in no way do any of those beliefs that you have that subtly limit your ability to earn money serve you. In no way do they serve you. Unless you know you're some kind of a sociopath and you're trying not to act in a bad way or something, unless you know that you're Machiavellian, unless you know that, like, if you're not fully formed with your belief system and your values, then that's one thing. You know, I like to joke that money is like cocaine and that it just amplifies the real personality. So if you're not a good person, disregard everything I'm saying. But come on, most of us are good people. Most of us, like, money doesn't corrupt. It brings out the corruption that was already in you, at least at the levels we're talking about. I mean, if you get up to some weird corporate dominance level where you have to make a choice between serving your shareholders and polluting a river, maybe that's a different scenario, right? But that's not even what we're talking about. For all of you watching this, if you were making $1 million a year, your whole reality would change. And it would in no way cost you a shred of your integrity, a shred of your ethics, your values, your morals. In no way would it. You can make millions per year being in service. You have to understand that. You can amplify the good that you wish to do in the world when you embrace the fact that tons of money helps that. Is the signal getting through? Because this is like a really, this is important to me. I was raised in an environment to believe that not only was money the root of all evil, that we rejected money 100%, and that money was what the devil was using to destroy the world. That's what I was told as a kid. It totally fucked with my head. Then I was thrown out into the world at 14, not 16, like the legal working age, but 14, and told I had to figure out how to make money. The same money that I was taught up until then would destroy me. I've overcome that. And from that perspective, I can tell you, you need to embrace lots of abundance, lots of wealth as a driving factor for your mission and your reach and your impact and your legacy and the things that you want to do. That's all I got for you today. I got to jump on a call pretty soon. And so I'm going to thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm going to challenge you. Ask yourself this one question. Journal on this one question. Here you go. Ready? Here's your call to action for today. Journal on this question. What would you have to change right now about yourself in order to start making more money right away? Go ahead and do some soul searching on that question. It's powerful. I journaled on it this morning. Powerful, powerful stuff. Let's see what else. I'm going to ask my assistant to put in a free download of my book. If you want to hear the story of somebody who's been through hell and back to become who I am now and get to where I am today, then download my book. Let's see. Amy Nelson Earls has put that question in the comments. Yep, you got it, Amy. There you go. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.